Hey guys, it's Miha with the Rumble Coaching. Today we will go over thoracic spine, a quick assessment, and then few simple solutions how to fix it and make it working more efficiently. First, why would I want to work on my thoracic spine? Why is it so important to have a certain range of mobility in my thoracic spine? And that really goes to runners, lifters. Doesn't really matter where is your fitness journey going. For example, if you're a runner, you definitely want to make sure that you have a certain amount of range of motion in rotating in a proper way when you run. If that is not happening, you're probably going to rotate somewhere else, most likely in your lower back. That will cause problems down the road. If you are a lifter and your thoracic cage is very stiff and kyphotic like this, and you start doing some overhead presses, that will cause a lot of problems with your shoulders. These are just a few examples of why would I work on my thoracic spine. So let me show you quick ways of how you can see if your thoracic spine is restricted in any way. All right, so now let's go to the assessment part. Like how do I know if I'm too kyphotic, which means your thoracic spine is too rounded forward and kind of stiff. Few things I usually look at. Very simple. Again, these are not very technical, so there are more technical ways to see it, but this is very simple, something you can do on your own at your home. So first thing I usually look is a hand position. A lot of times I notice people with rounded backs, their hands start rolling forward and you can see all the knuckles. So first thing when I see somebody, I look at their hands position. So if I see only maybe first and second knuckle, that's a pretty good indicator that the shoulders are back and the thoracic spine might not be that bad. At least one of the good signs here. If I can see all the knuckles and the hands are like this, that's a good sign. Another thing is, of course, if I see from the side, you can always take a picture with your phone of yourself, just standing nice and straight. The ideal posture will be your ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. Fairly straight lines, so you can kind of take a picture and see if they are. If your head is forward, shoulders are rounded forward, then you definitely can tell that you need to work on. You can also go more dynamically for the assessment. So a lot of times we do overhead squat assessments. So if you raise your arms and you start going down to a squat, a lot of times you see the arms start moving forward because again that thoracic spine does not have enough range of motion. So those are very simple as far as the extension. Now I'm going to show you actually to see how much rotation you have. That is the assessment / exercise. So you can actually, while doing the exercise, can see if you need to work on that. So now let's go to the exercises. All right, guys. So now let's go to the exercises. First one is going to be mobilizing with the peanut. That's the way I call it. It looks like a peanut. It says here back balls. I definitely prefer the peanut. So we're gonna, for this exercise, sit up first. Now, what will be the most important thing in this drill is where do I place the peanut? Like I said before, your thoracic spine is somewhere about a few inches below your shoulder blades up to a cervical spine. So we definitely don't want to go anywhere in your lower back or your neck. So stay away from these areas. I usually start around here. Now, most of people will definitely need some kind of pillow or some kind of elevated surface. So I'm just laying down, setting the peanut right along my spine. So those two balls are on the sides of my spine, so you can kind of feel where your spine goes. So make sure that ball does not go on the spine. It's the groove of that peanut. That's where your spine goes. So you're putting it like this, and from there, I'm just going to rest back here. Next thing I'll ask you to do, just try to relax and bring your knees towards your hips just like that. From there, focus on breathing using your diaphragm, so you can see I'm breathing here, and just let the body sink into the peanut. I like to even give myself a hug. Sometimes I move left and right a little bit, see if my one side is more sore or has more tension than the other. That really, most of the cases I see, people have more tension on one, so I just spend a little bit more time on the more restrictive side. And from there, you want to scooch down. Now, if you have a t-shirt, I notice it will be harder. So you want to hold your t-shirt and scooch down a little bit, move your pillow, and carry on the same thing. A lot of times people need more elevation here because they are so tight in the thoracic spine that they need to lift the body a little bit more. Sometimes you can go lower, just putting a pillow. For me, definitely that's more. I've been doing it for a while, so that feels more like. And again, I'm trying to explore left, right. After a while, I'm moving another segment. So as you can see, I'm rolling on the peanut, one segment at a time, moving towards my neck. A lot of times, I notice people once they get to the shoulder blades where I'm right now, you can see the peanut is right on my shoulder blades. People start having a lot of tension there. So again, spend a good amount of time. Remember, try not to fight it. This is the most important thing. You want to be relaxed when you do it. So I'm trying to really relax, breathing slowly with my diaphragm and letting my body sink into the peanut. You will see your body start getting lower and lower and the peanut gets around your spine. So you're going to finish the drill right around there. You see I'm kind of reaching almost my neck here. So we don't want to go anywhere above there. And just try to spend, again, left, right, see if you have more tension on one or the other. And just camp in there for a while. Alright guys, so next drill is going to be addressing more of how we rotate in our thoracic spine. This is really important since we as bipedal humans, we're supposed to be rotating, we are built to rotate, and a lot of people I've noticed don't have the ability to move in the rotational forces like that, so they kind of like stiff, and that causes eventually a lot of problems. So I will show you how to create more mobility in a kind of rotational fashion here in the thoracic spine. Try to pay attention to the foot and knee are aligned here. My knee is directly under my hip. So very important that your body is not kind of like this. So your hip is over your knee or even a little bit farther back. I'm placing my hand in front of my knee here. And I'm farther away from the wall right now, anchoring myself here on the wall. And just trying to get a good stretch. Most of people will feel it around the chest muscle, pecs here, biceps, forearm. This really benefits guys especially a lot. I notice the guys that do a lot of curls and bench presses, pull-ups, they have a lot of tension here and they round it. This stretch is magic, save a lot of problems just by doing it on a daily basis. So as you get better, you'll notice you can get closer and closer to the wall. My goal is always to get all the way, so my shoulder now is touching the wall. Try to pay attention to my neck position. Make sure your neck is not shrugging like this. Your shoulders are away from your ears, nice long spine. Next thing I want you to focus is your back here. So make sure you're not rounded like this. Tilt your pelvis like that. Now I can feel a good stretch. From there, I like to kind of move my hand like this, a little bit farther forward. So I'm exploring different angles. All the time focusing on my shoulder here being packed. So make sure you're not shrugging. So this is going to be really intense. Try to go very slowly. Make sure you're not experiencing any pain anywhere. It should just feel like a good stretch. And then of course do the other side. Most likely you're going to see that there's a difference between left and right. That is very important. When you acknowledge that, I would say spend more time on the tighter side, of course. So just add some 30 seconds or a minute to the tighter side. All right, last drill. I try to make it simple as possible. So as you can see, I'm placing my knees. I'm creating at least 90-degree angle between my thigh and my torso here. So make sure your legs are not that. That's the most common problem in this drill. From here, I'm laying down on my back and my head is rested nice and relaxed. I'm sure you notice that I'm very into like how we breathe. So make sure you inhale into your belly here. So using your diaphragm. And from there, I'm just exhaling and relaxing, and your left shoulder should go closer down to the floor. So it looks like this. I'm supporting my left leg with my arm here, because you notice one thing, once your left shoulder goes up, the leg will have a tendency to come up. So I'm just securing it here and making sure it does not go anywhere. Take another breath here. My goal for this drill is to have eventually the back flat, so you can actually touch with your left shoulder blade to the floor. People feel it in different places, obliques, hip. the main purpose of that is to mobilize your thoracic spine. But a lot of times people feel it in the different places, but trust me, just spend some good amount of time, because you'll be surprised how in 2 minutes of breathing and getting closer, how closer. You might start here, ending up all the way flat on your back. Make sure you do it on the other side, and this is the part where I mentioned before that it's an assessment. A lot of times people have less range of motion. They can feel right away are more restricted on one side than the other one. Same rules applies like before. If I find out that I'm much tighter here, definitely you want to spend more time on the tighter side and work on it more. Alright, so we just went over a couple simple assessments and then quick solutions how to address your thoracic spine. Once again, please remember, this is one of the most common problem I see working with people. This is due to probably sedentary lifestyle we have. We're sitting at the desks a lot. A lot of times it's also due to not proper program. People just do too much push exercises and not enough pull, which opens up, and then we end up with that kyphotic rounded forward. And if you look around, you probably start noticing a lot of people having that rounded backs, eventually leading to problems down the road. So try to do it as often as you can. You know my rule. I don't like to tell people how often do things. We are all grown-up people, so try to do it as often as you can, especially if you notice that you have a lot of tension and you are very restricted. It feels very intense. Make sure you're not experiencing any pain at any time. This is very important. A lot of times people think that if they experience pain, that is good. It's supposed to be a part of the journey. If there's a pain present, stop right there. Try to maybe regress a little bit easier, move away from the wall in this one, or put extra pillow under your head, but make sure it doesn't cause any pain. Thank you for watching, guys. It was Miha with Rampal Coaching. Please subscribe if you appreciate this video. I also look forward to some comments. Stay tuned. I'll see you soon.